Welcome back to Neurodivergent Relationships with Dr. Kathy Marshak, part of our Conversational Aspergerian course and our Debunking Autism Myths series. This is part 2 of our exploration into what it means to be a neurodiverse woman in a world that expects you to be a proper woman, whatever that means. Today's podcast is entitled No Manual for Girls Like This. So in part 1, we met Poppy from Mythic Quest, the Apple series, who showed us that what happens when an autistic woman stands fully in her chaotic, brilliant, sequin truth and gets a standing ovation for it. But what about real life? What happens when the girl doesn't get the ovation? What if she gets a label instead, or worse, is misunderstood by the very people who are supposed to protect her? This is that story. I want to start with something deeply personal. I was raised by an autistic mother. I raised an autistic daughter, and there were no manuals to help me, no models, no podcasts, no support groups, just love and a lot of grief, confusion, and raw fear. My daughter Bianca was adorable and smart as a whip. I still remember that sweet little note she left me one day asking, "Can I skip veggies?" because she didn't have enough time at school to eat all of her lunch. She didn't just eat slowly. She savored each section of an orange, one tiny pop at a time. She wrapped herself in silk scarves and answered the door like that. She pretended to shower, complete with towel on her head and dry hair. The showers, I later realized, were likely a sensory issue, but also she didn't want to be distracted. She was too busy drawing, reading, writing lyrics, and singing. She lived for her creative world. She loved her little cave of a bedroom all by herself in the basement of our house where she could be, just be. But as she grew, the world didn't understand her anymore. She stopped turning in homework, but aced her tests. Her teachers were confused, then frustrated. She brought books to recess, and the other kids targeted her, literally using her head as a target for dodgeballs. She was bullied, rejected, and never felt like she belonged. And me? I felt like a total failure. Bianca's meltdowns were intense. Her depression deepened. I just wanted to sit and cry all the time. One day, she begged me to kill her. Another time, she told her father she had knives hidden all over his house. I was petrified. I pleaded to bring her back home, to create a safe and sensory-friendly space for her, but he refused to let her come home. A girl with an IQ of 140, graduating with a special ed diploma? Preposterous. But what Bianca needed wasn't more discipline. She didn't need a tougher school or stricter rules or more neurotypical conditioning. She needed safety, acceptance, loving guidance, a chance to flourish in her own time. I built that space for her as best I could. Private school, homeschool, online programs before they were ever a thing. But still, it took her nearly 10 years to finish college. And yet she did make it. Not by becoming normal, but hopefully by becoming more herself. I really don't know how she's doing now. Her father convinced her that I am evil, and I haven't seen her in 18 years. My mother also died before I had the chance to talk with her about her own autism. I never got to ask her what it felt like to live in a world that didn't see her clearly. I'm healing these relationships with autistic women in my life by myself. But if I can help other daughters and mothers through this work, it helps me too. And what I've learned is this: the world will always be unprepared for girls like Bianca. The role models are just now emerging. The road is still hard, but love, real love, sees past the performance. It clears a path that says, you belong. If you're parenting a girl like this, mentoring a woman like this, or are this woman, know this: you're not alone. That standing ovation you've been waiting for, it's coming. But first, love yourself the way you loved oranges, one molecule at a time. So here's a question for you to think about for the after party. Were you or are you raising a girl like this? What saved you? What failed you? Join the discussion at our after party. The schedule is posted on one of my websites. And I think it's also in the show notes for the podcast. I hope to see you there. This has been Neurodivergent Relationships with Dr. Kathy Marshak. Thank you so much for listening.